Today I'm delighted to have been invited by Drinks Ireland to Kilbeggan Distillery, who've been here since 1757 doing what they do best, whiskey. I'm about to meet whiskey brand ambassador John Cashman, who's going to tell me all about what they do here. Let's chat to him. John.
Hey Doireann, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Very good, thanks. Welcome to Kilbeggan.
Thank you, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a fantastic place. Let's have a look.
Yes.
So, Kilbeggan is the oldest licensed whisky distillery in the world. It was founded in 1757 using water from the River Brusna. And if you listen carefully, you can hear the river actually running through the distillery here. All the equipment that we're going to see is over 100 years old. It all dates from the 1800s, including these beautiful fermentation vats right here.
How much do they hold and what do they hold?
Well, these would have been for fermenting beer, essentially, and would have held the equivalent of 80,000 pints of beer. So it would have been in that before it was being turned into whiskey, distilled into whiskey.
Okay, I like the look of this room.
Well, this is where the magic happens. This is where we are distilling here today in Kilbeggan.
Okay.
So there's a few simple stages and a few simple steps to make it. The first one is we get 1,000 kilograms or 1 metric ton of Irish barley. We add 6,000 litres of local Kilbeggan spring water in order to get the sugar out of the barley. That sugary liquid or that sugary water is then transferred over to one of these fermentation vats where we add yeast. After about 48 hours, the yeast turns this sugary liquid into a beer which is approximately 6 or 7% alcohol.
And what happens to the beer?
That beer is then transferred down to the pot stills and we distill it. We turn it into a spirit, which then is put into a cask and put into a warehouse. And after 3 years, we have whiskey.
Beautiful.
So the beer that we saw upstairs has been transferred down into this pot still here. It is distilled to approximately 27% alcohol. That is then transferred into the second still, or the spirit still, where it'll be distilled up to 67% alcohol. This still is very interesting. It's the oldest pot still still in use anywhere in the world. It is over 185 years of age. And one of the things you mightn't realise is the liquid that comes off it doesn't look like whiskey. It actually looks like this. It is a clear liquid.
So when does the colour come into it?
That comes through in the maturation process. So this will go into an oak barrel for 3 years, and after which it can be legally called whiskey, and it will have acquired that beautiful golden brown colour that we associate with whiskey.
John, I can almost taste the whiskey in here. The aroma is so strong.
Yeah, well, what you're actually smelling is pure whiskey. It's what we in the industry call the angel share, because it is said that the angels have to get their share of the whiskey before us mortals can.
I love that.
So what you have here are all these beautiful oak barrels, and the whiskey will rest in these barrels for a minimum of 3 years. And it is during that period that it'll get the colour. It'll also get some of the flavour of whatever is in that barrel previously. And that's part and parcel of this special indication for Irish whiskey, where we are protected. A minimum of 3 years, and Irish whiskey can only be made in Ireland. Much like champagne, for example, can only be made in the Champagne region. Everywhere else it's sparkling wine. So Irish whiskey has this special status within European law, and it's something that we're very proud of to have in this country.
On average, how long has a barrel been in here?
Well, we have a few different ones. The youngest would probably be new make, gone in maybe in the past year. We do have some 30-year-old whiskey in here as well, so that's pretty special liquid that I can't wait to try sometime.
We do.
So Doireann, here we are in the bar, and here's a bottle of the finished product.
Ta-da!
So this is Kilbeggan, traditional Irish whiskey. It is a blended whiskey. It is a lovely, soft, easy drinking whiskey.
I like the way the distillery is in this copper colour. It really makes it pop.
Yeah, what we're trying to get across is that distillery. We're the oldest distillery in the world, so we want that really to come out. But another thing that's very important to us and to the industry as a whole is innovation. And we've been very much at the forefront of that over the years. And this here is a classic example. This is our Kilbeggan small batch rye whiskey.
Okay.
It is the first Irish whiskey to have rye in its makeup in nearly 100 years.
What difference does rye make?
Well, rye gives this lovely sort of perfumed spiciness and an oiliness to the whiskey that you wouldn't get with some of the more traditional blended whiskies. So I think that's enough talking. I think we should probably try some. What do you think?
Time to get tasting.
Good stuff.
We're gonna go with this?
Yeah, we'll go with the rye. It's one that's very close to my heart. It's been almost like a baby to me for a few years. So here we go.
Delicious.
And what better way to finish a tour than with a nice toast? So, sláinte it in.
Sláinte, John. That went down very smooth.
Yeah, it's beautiful whiskey. Really good whiskey.
That is it for my time here in Kilbeggan Distillery. What a fabulous way to spend an afternoon. Stay tuned for my next adventure. Goodbye, Kilbeggan.